Yo, what is up everyone? This is Frank over here from PlayerEssence.com and welcome to another episode of PlayerEssence X Nintendo. We are getting back to what made me start YouTube in the first place, getting back to the format of the show, and you guys are still going to get live streams, but they're going to be in the form of a different name. And as far as PlayerEssence X Nintendo, we're getting back to how the show used to be. Plenty of topics, lots of good Nintendo news, a lot of good discussion, main topics, all of that. We're going to do that on PlayerEssence X Nintendo and look forward to these on every single Friday. They should be uploaded just as long as I can get stuff done. You guys will get these every single Friday, pretty much right at midnight or so, or sometime, but they will be uploaded on Friday, so look forward to that, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Got my boy Sammy Fresh. We're bringing it to PlayerEssence X Nintendo, his debut on the show. So everybody give a round of applause for Sammy. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get right into the topics here, guys. So Unseen64's Liam Robertson has basically been on a tear lately, talking about anything from the NX to Project Hammer to all sorts of stuff, Metroid, and his newest thing is information on Devil's Third. So this is technically still a rumor, but he is reporting it as fact, and that is Devil's Third will not be published in North America by Nintendo of America. Basically, we saw the game last year. It was there. It was a bit rough. And the game was absent at this year's E3 for Nintendo of America. Now, we do know the release date for Japan and for Europe. Japan is coming August 4th. Europe, it's coming, I think, August 28th or late August. So they're going to be getting the game. And apparently, European journalists already have the game. Now, the reasons why Nintendo of America supposedly is not publishing this game is because the quality is low. There's frame rate issues. There's problems with the game. It's just not really that fun. And Liam from Unseen64 has talked to people that do have their hands on the copy of the game, the European press, when embargoes are lifted on July 15th, and they're saying that the game just isn't really good. So it's unfortunate if that is true, that the game isn't good and Nintendo of America won't be publishing it, but it does seem like the game might be picked up by somebody in North America. Now, Itagaki-san has said that he will release the game in North America and South America, of course, but it seems like it's not going to be Nintendo of America just because Nintendo has such a lack of games for the most part as far as Wii U console games, and they did not show it at E3. They showed Fatal Frame, they showed Shin Megami Tensei, they showed all these other games that were coming to Wii U, Mario, Tennis, and all this stuff that they do have, Amiibo Festival, but they didn't show Devil's Third, and that's a shame. It seems like the game isn't too good, at least at this point, but everybody should get a chance. I think Nintendo of America shouldn't decide for us whether the game isn't good or not. They should put out the game and see what fans say about it. And they even went as far as to say, Liam did, that it's going to be another disaster day of crisis type of thing where that game was not released. That was actually Monosoft that developed that game, and that game was only released in Europe and in Japan, and Nintendo of America already said that the game was kind of like laughable, the voice acting was bad, so the quality wasn't good, so Nintendo of America didn't publish it, and nobody ended up bringing that game over. And actually the same thing happened with The Last Story and with Pandora's Tower, but those games were quality. Nintendo of America was just being cheap as hell, and even with Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii they were being cheap, and they decided GameStop only and all these other restrictions and weird things. I understand that Nintendo of America is a business, but when you treat your fans like this for 2 generations in a row now, and you get to the point to where the Wii U just has the lack of games that it has, the fact that you're telling people, no, you're not going to have this game because we don't think it's quality, I'm not sure if Nintendo of America is in that position to do that. But hey, it's their business, they can do what they want to do with it, but I can tell you right now, the fans are not going to be happy if Nintendo of America doesn't publish this game. Hopefully somebody else like Xseed or something like that picks it up, because I still do want to play this game, and no matter what, I will. I'll be playing the game on August 4th when it comes out in Japan. I'll be buying the Japanese version because the English is already done in the game. So we're going to see how it works out from here. Alright, next news article, we have Zero, the man, the myth, the legend, Zero, from the Smash Bros. 4 community. He is on a tear. He actually won his 40th tournament in a row, and Zero is just dominating. He is winning every single tournament that he's played in, 40 in a row. He hasn't lost a tournament since late last year after Sky Williams Invitational with D1 and ESAM and all those guys that were there. And it's just crazy how well he's been doing. Who is going to beat this guy? Now, he uses Diddy and he also uses Sheik. For this latest tournament that he was in, he just used Diddy and he just straight up bodied pretty much any Sheik that was out there. He destroyed people left and right, beat the Mii Brawler in the final, and it was quite easy. So there is one more tune-up before EVO, and then the big show is EVO, where all of the Smash 4 community is going to be out there. I thought Nairo might have had the best chance to take him out at CEO, but he beat Nairo as well. I actually had an interview with Nairo and DeBuzz. You can check that out somewhere on the screen here. And they talked about how they felt pretty confident, but DeBuzz was saying like, hey, EVO is the big deal. And I think that's the thing. And we're going to see, because everybody is gunning for Zero. So EVO is going to be the big test. If he wins EVO, he's obviously the greatest Smash 4 player in its short lifetime, and I don't know if anybody will be able to catch up with him if he really sweeps Apex, and he also does EVO, and he did CEO. I mean, he is literally winning every single major and even the smaller tournaments as well. So it's pretty insane to see how this guy is doing. You can check out his YouTube if you are into Smash Bros. He has a fantastic YouTube channel, almost 100,000 subscribers. He's grown so much since he started his channel. So I'll actually have a link somewhere in the description or on the screen here to where you can check out Zero's channel and really improve your game in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and for 3DS. Okay, next article we have here is Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. Now, I already spoke on this a little bit, so I won't go into every single detail. I just dropped a video, I think yesterday or so, on Shin Megami Tensei being 60 hours long, 30 hours to complete the main quest, another 30 hours to wrap up the side quest, and that's not even potentially leveling up to the highest level. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in this game. The characters are coming from Shadow Dragon and Fire Emblem Awakening. There's going to be all sorts of really cool enemies from Shin Megami Tensei, and of course characters from the Fire Emblem universe as NPCs or shop owners or things like that. We even saw Tiki singing. So there's going to be a lot of great stuff that kind of pulls from Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem, but also it being a whole new game in its own right. So all the features the developer said has already been implemented. They're in the debugging and testing phase, so it's looking like it's going to make its launch for 2015 in Japan, or that might have been delayed to 2016, but for North America and Europe for sure it's 2016. Hopefully it's an early title. That'll be a good February title to have. And just the RPGs. I mean, Nintendo really needs the RPGs, and that's actually going to be something I'm going to be talking about in the main topic. But I'm glad to see that the game is coming along. The features are being implemented. Everything's going good. They're getting the debugging, polishing it up. The graphics look nice and crisp. So I can't wait to see the final build of Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. Alright, and now we're moving on to this epic indie sale. And this one is pretty cool because they're giving you 60% off if you own any one of the games that are listed. Go to the description below, check out the trailer. Trust me, you're going to want this indie sale. There's a lot of good games on here. Just looking off the top of the list here, we have Guacamelee, we have Swords and Soldiers, Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams, we have Edge, we've got Trine, Trine 2, Mighty Switch Force 2, Tokitori 2, Bit Trip Runner. There is a bunch of great games, so definitely check out the description below. There's a huge sale going on. Is that 60% off or something like that? So check out the description. Like I said, watch the trailer and buy those games if you're interested in any of them. Alright, next we have some information on Pokken Tournament for the Wii U. This game is actually being aimed at the older adult Pokemon fans out there. Really the ones that grew up watching Pokemon back in the day, Pokemon Red and Blue on the TV, Cartoon Network, wake up before school. Yeah, that was me when I was like 11 or 12 watching Pokemon before I went to school. And this game is kind of aimed at those fans, because if you look at the current Pokemon games, those games are kind of aimed at the 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, although 20-something-year-olds are actually one of the biggest populations that actually play the game. But this one, they're trying to aim for more of an older Pokemon audience, as well as capturing the younger fans too that do like fighting games. And there's actually a possible chance for release outside of Japan, but I really think this game is going to come to either the Wii U or the NX, and I'm thinking more towards the NX, just because the game looks beautiful. If you look at the graphics for the title as far as the arcade goes, it looks so good, and it's launching this month at the end of the month in Japan in arcades, and there's really no mention of it for Wii U. And there really isn't many characters either. I think there's only 8 so far, with some more that they're adding. So obviously if you're going to release that on a console, you're going to need a lot more than 8 characters, but this is just to get your feet wet and kind of get some data. And that's what Bandai Namco does with a lot of their games. They release the games in the arcades first, and then they come to consoles a year later or so. So I think that's what they're going to do. See what they need to do to make the game a little bit better, get some feedback on it, and then add some more characters and put out a full console release. I'm thinking on the NX in the next year or two, but who knows? It could come to Wii U, but we just have to wait and see. But overall, it looks great. Can't wait to see more of it. And I'm glad that they're adding characters like Charizard, which was really cool, and Weevil. They added those two, so that's awesome. All right, and our final bit of news before the main topic, we have Splatfest, which is going on. And Nintendo actually said Splatfest will be taking place July 17th at 9 p.m. Pacific time to July 18th at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So that's pretty cool. And it's actually roller coasters versus water slides. So those are the teams that you pick. Nintendo will give you the special shirt and you have to play and see who wins. Overall, I've taken a little bit of a break from Splatoon. I'm waiting for them to add the update to where I can just play with my friends, because I'm tired of playing with people who are complete idiots on my team, and there's ranked battles. So yeah, I'm just waiting till I can just play with my friends and I can join a lobby and stuff. But overall, it seems like Splatoon's doing very well. It's sold over 1 million units. It continues to sell strong. That Japanese media create. I'm pretty sure we have a new big franchise for Nintendo here. So these Splatfest and stuff just help propel the game, help keep the game in the spotlight, keep people interested in playing the game and coming back to it. So I'm really looking forward to that update and also joining in all these Splatfest and stuff, because it's pretty cool. Roller coasters versus water slides. That's funny. Where do they come up with these things? I never even tried to put those two together, like a roller coaster or a water slide. It's like one of them's a water slide, one of them's a roller coaster. I never said, well, which one's better? I mean, but hey, that's just me. Alright, so that basically wraps it up for the news here. Next, we're going to get into our main topic, and that is the amount of RPGs on Wii U. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a separate video on this, but the amount of RPGs on Wii U is pathetic. And if you look at the amount of RPGs from Nintendo on the Wii U, it's even more pathetic. Worldwide, Nintendo has released no major first-party RPGs. Now, they've got Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii U coming out in Japan, or actually, sorry, already out in Japan, but we have that coming out here in North America in December, and who knows when in Europe, but that is way too late. The Wii U launched 3 years ago at the end. By the time Xenoblade comes out, it will have been 3 years, and it takes you that long to release one RPG. And that's the really weird thing that I don't understand with Nintendo, is because they have this really cool tablet controller that can handle menus and items and all this stuff. Adventure games like Wind Waker, RPGs like Shin Megami Tensei and Xenoblade, those should have been the games that are in the majority. I don't really understand why the majority is platformers and mini-game collections, which I've already complained about beforehand, but I don't understand where Nintendo's software development was thinking when they said, okay, well, we have this cool controller that can display information for like menus and stuff, like let's do it to make mini-game collections and platformers. And I know that they have some other games like action like Bayonetta, but that game doesn't need the Wii U gamepad. And then you have games like Smash Bros. Well, I'd rather use the game controller for that game, and a lot of core Smash Bros. Fans rather do the same thing. And then you have stuff like Mario Kart. Well, you can't use it for that. Mario Kart, I really don't want to take my eyes off of the screen just because of the 200cc, you're going so fast. So to me, it seems like Nintendo really made a flub on the technological side of this, especially the cost of the Wii U gamepad is so much higher compared to the Wii remotes, which were relatively cheap compared to the Wii U gamepad. So I don't understand where Nintendo was thinking with this. I thought that they would be making more RPGs and more adventure games to really take advantage of the second screen and the dual screen experience. One of the best things about the Nintendo 3DS is the RPGs. The fact that you can have that information down there. Fire Emblem Awakening is awesome with it. A lot of the other games Nintendo has done is really good. I like Shin Megami Tensei with it. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do as far as displaying information, having the maps, quick travel for RPGs or adventure games. That stuff's really good. I think The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD just showed that those type of games should be made with the gamepad, and Nintendo just didn't bring those type of games all generation. It's interesting too because you thought they were, because they showed off Xenoblade and Shin Megami Tensei so early in the lifespan of the Wii U, so I'm thinking, man, they're showing these games already, these are the big ones, we're probably going to get Golden Sun and we're probably going to get some other like smaller RPGs in between that. But what Nintendo didn't tell us was that those were the only 2 RPGs they had in development at all. And one of them is kind of more Atlas, so they really only had 1 RPG and 0 internally developed RPGs for the Wii U. 0, with Nintendo EAD or any of their internal teams. Now, Monolith Soft, it's something that they bought, that's still first party, but that's still not the same as their internal team. So the fact that they had 0 internal teams working on anything like an RPG that can really take advantage of that second screen, a lot of it's really weird how Nintendo put the Wii together, just how the generation went. It was just a weird generation, and I think Nintendo just was not prepared for this type with HD development and the type of resources and money, and they just weren't willing to do that, especially compared to how much they invested into the system. Now, I still think the games are great. A lot of people think that I've been hating and I've just been like, oh, the Wii U's horrible, and that's really not it. And I've been talking about fixing the Wii U's issues and stuff for quite a while now, since 2013, late 2013, early 2014, when I knew the online games were coming, and when I started seeing that Nintendo wasn't kind of making the games that I thought they were going to make, I started talking about these things. But it really came to fruition at this year's E3, where they didn't show us any new RPGs, but they showed us new minigame collections and more platformers with Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World, and then the same RPGs that we already knew about with Shin Megami Tensei and Xenoblade. So that was the only issue that I had there. It's definitely a learning experience for Nintendo. I think they do know that RPGs are one of the most popular franchises out there. RPGs are pretty much the franchise that put the 3DS on the map. I mean, that's great that you have Mario Kart and you have all of that stuff, but really those smaller games like Persona Q and games like Shin Megami Tensei, Dream Drop Distance, Fire Emblem Awakening is doing great things. Fire Emblem Fates is doing more stuff. Yokai Watch is the biggest game in Japan at this moment, and those are all RPGs, and those will help drive the system, because when people buy a game, they want a lot of content in there, and when you buy an RPG, you're going to get a long gameplay experience. So I think Nintendo really learned their lesson. I think they learned that because they've started to say, oh, well, we're going to look into more RPGs. At least that's what Reggie said. I think it was just corporate PR fluff. But they're looking at the other systems and they're looking at their sales, and you kind of realize, and you look at 3DS versus Wii U, and you see one system has the RPGs, the other one doesn't, and look at the sales. So hopefully Nintendo changes things up for the NX. I really do want to see a lot of great quality RPGs being released frequently on the system. And really, this just reminds me of the N64. The N64 it just really lacked really good RPGs, and Nintendo just developed other types of games. So let me know what you guys think. Do you have an issue with Nintendo not releasing a lot of first-party RPGs this generation? Are you okay with their games lineup? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, so that basically wraps it up for this episode of PlayerEssence X Nintendo. Get used to it, because this is the format going forward. I will be wearing my Pro Jared shirt all the time. No, I'm joking. This is just, I didn't have any of my other gaming shirts, so I just wore this one. But anyway, that basically wraps it up for this one, guys. Make sure you hit that description below. There you'll find links to all of the articles that I talked about today, so you can go check those out on PlayerEssence.com. Alright, hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know if you guys want more PlayerEssence X Nintendos in this format in the future, and also subscribe if you're someone new, because right here on PlayerEssence you're going to get a variety of videos, original content, and we have our 5,000 subscriber special coming up. Trust me, there's going to be big changes to the channel and to the layout. You guys are going to love it, so look forward to that, plus the Splatoon amiibo giveaway, because I know a lot of you guys have been asking about that. Alright, so that wraps it up for this one, guys, and we will see you for the next PlayerEssence X Nintendo. Peace.